Well, hey there guys, I hope you guys are having an awesome day today. So today's video is going to be about a new foundation that I have been testing out, and I have a few things to say about it. If you guys are new to my channel, my name is Christina Brooke and this is my Glam Ranch. I would love it if you guys would hit that subscribe button and be part of my Glam Ranch family. And also, if you hit the notification bell, then you guys will be early birds on the Glam Ranch and you guys will know exactly when I post videos, so you guys can be the first to see them. The foundation I am talking about is the Marc Jacobs Shameless Foundation. This is a new foundation that just launched from Marc Jacobs, and yeah, we're going to be trying this little guy out. So this is going to be a first impression, but I'm also going to be wearing this foundation for a full day. So yeah, we're going to be putting this little guy to the test. So let's go ahead and let's get right into it. So this is the Marc Jacobs Shameless Youthful Look 24-Hour Foundation with SPF 25. It's an innovative medium buildable foundation with 24-hour wear and first to market flashback-free SPF 25 for your youthful look. Created using snow mushroom, which is known for its impressive ability to hold on to water. So it's basically a natural dupe for hyaluronic acid. So this is gonna be the clips from yesterday of me applying this foundation for the very first time so you guys can see how it applies. And then also my little wear test. So some of this video will be filmed from my smartphone throughout the day. So if the quality is not as perfect as you see right now, that is because I used my iPhone to do a few follow-ups and a little check-ins for you guys to let you guys know what I was feeling throughout the day. So I'm gonna go ahead and insert those clips right now, and then when we come back, I will let you guys know what I'm thinking today. Today is the next day after wearing the foundation for the full day and also putting the foundation to the test for the rest of the day today. So I have been wearing this foundation for 2 consecutive days. Let's see my initial thoughts. I'm gonna go ahead and start off with priming my face, and I'm gonna be using my Dr. Brandt Pores No More. Since this is a primer I usually do use often, I figured I should use a primer that I always use, and I'll go ahead and put this in my pore area. The Marc Jacobs new foundation. It's called the Marc Jacobs Shameless Foundation. I'm kind of excited to try this product out. I think it looks interesting. It's actually it's kind of like a really cute container. Let's go ahead and let's see how this guy applies. I think that the color I picked is gonna work pretty nicely. I'm actually kind of happy. I think I picked a good color, which doesn't always happen. So what I'm gonna do is on one side, I'll put it on with a brush. The other side, I'll put it on with a sponge. So you guys can see how it applies both methods. I'm gonna dot this on this side of my face, and on this side, I will use a brush. That was a pretty good color match, I have to say, if I do say so myself. This is definitely not a heavy foundation. You can already tell that it's very lightweight. I do think it did a decent job covering. Let's see how it applies with the sponge now. So this is an extremely lightweight foundation. Now I feel like it's a very light coverage, and I honestly think that putting it on with a sponge kind of takes away a lot of the product. So I think I'm gonna have to put it on with the brush, only because the sponge seems to kind of like take it away. So I'm gonna go ahead and put both sides on with the brush, because I think that since it's so lightweight, it needs the brush. I don't know. I need to put on more in order to get it to a coverage that I like, but I'm gonna kind of stipple it in. That'll help keep the foundation in place and not move it around that much, because it is very, very lightweight. It is a little streaky with the brush. I feel like I need to set it in place with a sponge. I kind of like how this foundation feels. At first, I really thought that the brush was the best application, but I kind of feel like since the product is a little bit on the liquidy side compared to a lot of my other foundations, when I use the brush, it does get a little streaky, but that always depends on what kind of brush you have. And since I was trying to stipple it, it was kind of like, you know, leaving a little bit of marks. When I went in with the sponge, I think that the sponge really kind of made it even. Sponges sometimes can shear out your coverage. That's why you end up having to put a little bit more product, but overall, usually sponges, the application of sponges usually looks a little bit better. Depends always on the foundation, but I have to say so far, just the foundation on its own when applied properly It actually looks like a pretty nice foundation. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and put on the rest of the products on my face, and then we'll see. Let's see how this foundation holds up once everything's applied. But so far so good. Let's see how this goes. All right guys, so my makeup is done and this is how it looks. I have to admit, so far, I actually kind of like the way it looks. It does not look overbearing. It's not like a really heavy or cakey foundation. It's very natural looking, but it does cover the imperfections pretty well. And once you put on the rest of your makeup, it does kind of look very like your skin, but better type of deal. It's very pretty. I'm not mad at it. So right now it's around 3:30. So I'm gonna go ahead and wear this foundation for the rest of the day until later on at night. And I'm gonna try to see how it wears. But so far I will have to tell you guys that it does seem to me like it is a very wearable, everyday kind of foundation. It feels very, very lightweight. When I put it on, I was kind of shocked with how lightweight it felt and how natural looking it was. It is a little on the sheer side and you have to build it up. But for being kind of like a everyday kind of foundation, it feels really good. And I will tell you, it doesn't feel oily and it doesn't feel like I have foundation on. It kind of feels really nice. So far, I'm actually enjoying it. Let's see how it wears throughout the day. I'm gonna go ahead and keep on wearing it. So I'll go ahead and update you guys on what I think. But yeah, so far so good. What do you think? Looks pretty cool, huh? Okay, so here's an update. I feel like the foundation still looks really good. I'm a little bit shiny, but not that much. And it's definitely dewy still. It looks really pretty. So I have to say that so far I really think that this is a pretty damn good foundation, especially if you want like a natural look, not cakey, you know? It's actually a very nice, natural looking foundation. I actually really enjoy it a lot, and you will probably be seeing me wear this more often because I like the finish and I love the color. Alright guys, so those were my initial thoughts when I put on this foundation yesterday. I ended up taking off the foundation. I think it was around 11 o'clock at night. I had to wear it for a really long time because after I made dinner and I got everything ready in my house, then I have to go clean up, and then when I go to put my daughter to sleep, I have to wait until she falls asleep before I can do anything for myself. It was like around 11 o'clock that I was finally able to remove my makeup, and I was able to look at myself pretty good in the mirror and see like what was the situation. So here are my thoughts so far. I honestly have to say that I was kind of shocked when I saw the container. When I first saw this, I kind of thought, oh my gosh, this is a plastic container. It reminds me of something that you would buy at the drugstore with a more higher end look to it. Like the design looks more high end, but the container itself is a plastic container. Down here is probably the more luxurious portion, and this here is just a plastic container, like any Revlon kind of squeezy tube container. So when I saw it, I kind of pulled it out of the case and I was like, oh, this was $46. So I was kind of like, I'm not sure about that. The more and more I thought about it, the more and more I kind of was starting to be okay with the idea, because I was thinking, well, you know what? A lot of times when I get these more high-end foundations that they're all these glass bottles, I kind of get a little bit leery of putting them on in a hurry or putting them on counters, because they could fall, and if they fall, they do break in pieces. Trust me, it has happened to me before, and it's not a pretty thing. So basically, I kind of was first taken back, and then I kind of sat back and I said, you know what? This is kind of practical. And then I said, let's see what the application is like. Now, it wouldn't be as practical if I felt like this was one of those full glam foundations that you only take out for special nights out. Then I would say, give me a glass bottle, because literally I'm not going to be using this thing that much. So I want it to be like fee and all that good stuff for $40-something. Now, when I read the description, it said that it was a lightweight foundation, all this good stuff. It doesn't feel like it's heavy, it's a medium coverage. And I said, okay, maybe this is gonna be a good everyday foundation. Let's test it out. When I first applied it on my face, as you can see in the video, I was kind of into it, but I wasn't 100% sure. It's not a liquidy consistency, but it's a little bit thinner than I'm used to. I don't like full coverage. I don't mind if you can build it up to full coverage, but I like for things to be at least medium. So in that case, at first I kind of thought, I don't know if this is too sheer, because when you first put it on, it is very light and you don't get too much coverage, but it does feel nice on your skin. When I built it up, I could build it up to be a medium coverage, and I initially thought that maybe the brush applied it better, But after applying it a few more times, I applied it yesterday and then I also applied it today. When I applied it today, I applied it with the Beauty Blender on its own, and I really feel like maybe the Beauty Blender applies it a little bit better, only because the brush kind of leaves a little bit of streakiness to it, and that is probably because the formula is not super thick. So when you kind of like move it around, you could get streaky. And I felt like the Beauty Blender did apply it better. Now, Beauty Blenders sometimes can suck up a little bit of product, so you do end up having to apply a little bit more product than you're used to, but I do like the finish better with the Beauty Blender. After wearing this and using it 2 days in a row, I don't mind this case because now I feel like this is definitely an everyday foundation. This is like really nice. Like, I have to admit that I enjoy the way this foundation feels. It feels lightweight and it looks very natural, but it does give you coverage. So I actually was like, okay, this is the type of foundation that you want to throw in your purse. This is the type of foundation that you want to throw in your makeup bag and take it with you everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I kind of now can appreciate that it is in this plastic because it is like an everyday kind of foundation. Now, I thought they better have done something really great with this formula in order to have it in like a plastic. And I have to admit, I do like what they did with the formula. It feels very lightweight on my skin. It does feel very natural looking and it doesn't feel oily, but it's still hydrating. So I don't think that oily people can't get away with wearing this because it's not so hydrating that you feel oily at the end of the day. I wore it yesterday. I was outside, I was inside, I was cooking, I was cleaning. And by the end of the day, I was not so oily or shiny that, like, even with my YSL All Hours foundation, I get a little bit more shiny than I feel like I got with this one. This one stayed a little bit more matte, but I still had a little bit of a dewy look to it. This is definitely, for sure, an almost everyday foundation to me. Like, it's really actually nice. So one of my tests is I usually ask my husband what he thinks of my makeup, only because, you know, like sometimes when you look at yourself, you think, oh my God, this is amazing, I love it. And then you have to ask other people too, because maybe there's stuff that you're not seeing and then you can get a second opinion. So I always kind of ask him like, hey, do you like the way my makeup looks today? And he told me, actually, yeah, it looks very natural. And I go, but natural, like you can see like my skin through it and you could see that I have like blemishes. And he goes, no, it just doesn't look like you have heavy makeup on. It looks like very natural, very pretty. So I was like, okay, that's a good sign. Like, I like that. That definitely makes me feel happy because for everyday use, that's kind of what I want. I mean, I know that sometimes people here on YouTube are like putting on all this makeup and they look like, you know, like layers of makeup. But I mean, come on, guys. Practical. I mean, most of us aren't walking around with big faces full of makeup during the day. When I'm doing everydays, I want something lightweight. I want something that covers everything, but I don't want to feel like I'm too cakey or anything like that. This one really did the trick. I have to admit, I really like the finish. I do not feel like I see too many blemishes coming through, but it is a more natural looking foundation. This is not going to be like a mask. This is not going to be like something that you're going to put on and you're going to be like, boom, full coverage. You can't see anything. Where is my face? You can't see it. It's not there. That's not this. This is more of a natural finish. Another thing I was a little bit concerned with when I felt this is since it's so lightweight and you get like another foundation, like for example, even this e.l.f. foundation that is made out of glass, it feels so much heavier. Like you automatically think that this has more product than this. Like this one here says it's 0.68 fluid ounces, and this one here is 1.08 fluid ounces. So this has more product than this has, and it doesn't feel that way. This feels like it would have more product. So don't let that confuse you. Don't let that make you think that this doesn't have product in it. Because when I first saw it, that's what I first thought. I thought, oh my God, this is so lightweight. They didn't give me nothing. And it's also very compact. So because it doesn't have that huge glass casing around it and it's just this plastic and the product, don't let that make you think that there's not a lot of product in here, because it's definitely a normal sized product. It has a good quantity inside of here. It says it's a youthful looking 24-hour foundation. I do agree with that. I think that if you guys have fine lines or if you're more mature skin, I have a feeling that you guys are really gonna love this product, only because I don't feel like it goes into your lines. It kind of went over any line that I had on my face. And also, if you guys are younger and you don't have to worry about lines, if you guys have dry skin, I think you're gonna enjoy this a lot. And if you just like to look a little bit dewy, but you don't wanna be like super dewy, this is the type of foundation you want. and it's very youthful looking. You know what I mean? Like, it gives that appearance of youthfulness to the skin. So I really enjoy this a lot. I think it's very pretty. It has an SPF of 25 in it. It's not the highest, but it's okay. Just for reference, if you guys are interested, the color that I'm using is light Y270, and I think the color matched me perfect. One thing I do have to tell you guys is if you guys are into taking photos of yourself, no, like if you like selfies or if you just enjoy photos and you're one of those people that likes to take photos, this doesn't have any flashback and it looks really pretty in photos. I did take a few photos yesterday and I also did a few videos yesterday and I really enjoyed the way that the finish looked. It looked really nice on my skin, so that is definitely something that I think that you guys should look into if you like photos. That it's a medium coverage, I 100% agree with that. It's definitely light when you first put it on. You have to build it up to get to medium. It's definitely can get to like a full medium. I don't think you can get this to full coverage. I mean, you probably could sit there applying more and more and more. I wouldn't recommend that. Like I say, I don't think that you should stack on too much foundation. So it says that normal, oily, and dry skin can use that. Totally agree with this. I think that the claims are pretty spot on, and I have to say I really enjoy this foundation, so I do think it's really good. Anyways, I really think that you guys should check out this foundation, especially if you're looking for a new everyday foundation. Anyways, that is all I have for this video. I hope you guys really enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to give me your thumbs up and also hit that subscribe button. And when you see my face appear somewhere around down here, if you click on my face, you will subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!